Of the press, I owe you a duty to inform you that, as you're aware, the 103rd NEC meeting of the People's Democratic Party, the authentic People's Democratic Party, held today. And as you're aware, that other organs of the party are either advisory or act on behalf of NEC. And so intermittently, NEC must be scheduled so that the decisions taken by other organs on their behalf can be ratified or rejected by them. So at this meeting, decisions taken by the NWC, decisions taken by the Board of Trustees, advisory by the Board of Trustees, were deliberated upon and ratified. Among those decisions, the decision to explore reconciliation, the decision ratifying the appeal to the Supreme Court, the decision to take necessary steps to ensure that the e-registration is successful, all of those were ratified. And after exhaustive deliberations, the NEC came to the agreement that the decisions were taken in almost good faith, and therefore, without any dissension, unanimously ratified those decisions. And so that is why I'm here to brief you, to know that the process of saving our party is on course. And like we had said in our last press briefing, that all hope is not lost. We are here today to reiterate that the NEC is satisfied with the disposition of the Board of Trustees. And as you can see, the NEC is made up of members of the Board of Trustees, ex-officio state chairmen, former NWC members, former presidents, all of whom were informed of this meeting, most of whom who could not come took excuse. That's why I think it is important, so that our teaming supporters would know that our e-registration is ongoing at iampdp.org, and that plans to salvage the party and to make sure that the party is on the ballot is on course, and the party is strengthened every single day. That is the position, and that's what happened at NEC today. Remember that immediately after the judgment, the NWC met and directed the lawyers to file an appeal. And I had confirmed to you previously that an appeal had not just been filed, that appeal has been entered in the Supreme Court, and all the concomitant applications for accelerated hearing and all of that have also been filed. I said so. But what we said is that the filing of this appeal does not inhibit the reconciliation processes. The moment agreeable terms are met, courts are usually very happy when parties approach them for discontinuance or withdrawal. So, but that appeal had been filed, and other subsequent legal actions had been taken to protect the position of the party. Yeah, like we said, we do know that reconciliation is a journey. It's not, reconciliation is a journey towards a destination. And so you measure it by movement. So movement is being done along that line. The destination of reconciliation will be met. And you can bear with me that we have a situation of negative peace at the moment. At least there is cessation of hostility, since we said so. So you're not finding both sides trading blames and hot tackles. You're finding de-escalation in rhetoric, hurtful rhetoric and the rest. And so what is there is that the journey of reconciliation is on course. The journey of reconciliation, the bus has left the station, the train has left the station, but has it arrived at reconciliation? No. Has it passed some bus stations and train stations? The answer is yes. Do we want that in the public? The answer is no. Because there are people, we do not pretend that there are no people within and outside who do not want this peace to be. And so if we let them understand the milestones that we have achieved, it means they know the next bus or train station to wait for us. So it's best that the next time you hear from us, you hear that we have arrived at the destination. How we arrive, whether by helicopter, by plane, would become immaterial, provided it is legal. And when we arrive at that destination, remember that this reconciliation is made to strengthen the party. And the party at this point is an opposition party. It's not a ruling party. It is not made to make the People's Democratic Party an appendage of any other party. It is made to strengthen it as an opposition party, and a party aligning with the disposition and interest of Nigerians, which is the provision of an alternative to the ruling party. So time is clearly an issue, and both parties are working along with time as a condition. Irrespective of what both parties are doing independently on their own, it doesn't affect the reconciliation. When the reconciliation happens, eventually, the terms of the reconciliation will determine whether what was done and the things that were done have reached the destination. You know that in Noah's time, not all the animals entered the boats, the ship, but only the animals that arrived with Noah survived. But there were many animals before Noah entered the ship, and it's a journey. At the point where negotiation begins, you see that people come to negotiations with hardline positions. But the beauty of negotiation is in the seeding of grounds. And time is a critical element in negotiation. So you find that parties who never sat before begin to sit. That negotiation is going somewhere. Immediately, parties previously opposed to sitting together agree to sit. And you can see that between November and today, that negotiation alone has created people who haven't sat together, people who haven't greeted each other have greeted. So it is the element of time to achieve the purpose of this negotiation, which is an agreeable consensus added within the limit of time. And that is only God can give an answer whether the negotiation will eventually work or not. Only God can give that answer. But our duty is to act in utmost good faith towards that destination. Because at the end of the day, if men choose to play God, God will become God. Because we are opposed to the deification of man and the magnification of God. Men must be men and God must be God. But our duty, as in both faiths, the Bible and Quran admonishes us to seek peace. And that is what we are doing. So if at the end of the day, and history is recording the disposition of people, if at the end of the day, reconciliation will mean death, nobody agrees to die to be peaceful. Yep. Even the law allows for self-defense. But what is our position today? Our position today is straightforward. We are disposed to peace. We have de-escalated. All the organs of the party under our control are disposed to peace. And we are working there. Talking about the convention, there's no convention coming up to our knowledge. But we would not begin to deconstruct that, because that would be an inconvenient truth. And we cannot be saying those inconvenient truths at this point in public. Those are things we are discussing together. It's like having a wife and someone comes to claim your wife. The wife knows whose wife she is. You know, and my people say that the owner of a thing does not drag it too much. So if you see our disposition, it is because at the end, we hope that we can get to an agreeable situation so that our people can find a solid political platform to run. And let me tell you, we have been speaking against the concept of mutually assured destruction. And people across the board do know that except we come to a point of agreement, that people running for elections would not be sure of the platforms they are running with. And that is what we want to avoid. We are clearly speaking against mutually assured destruction. It's a concept that all parties understand clearly. And so we've made room for peace. We are open to peace. Discussions are ongoing. I will not be discussing what people's initial positions have been, because like I keep saying, there is what is called in negotiation a zone of possible agreements. But there is what is called the irreducible demands that you want to take out of it. But what you leave the house with is usually not what you go back with. So it is the zone of possible agreement where parties would say this agreement works for this party. That is where we'll be. So we are still open to that within the limits of the time that is available.